So here we are back on this 83 Rolls-Royce Corniche. And later in the episode, there's a real treat in store because I'm going to get the guys over from Avro Pro to show me their expert dry ice cleaner. Now last week you saw me purchase a brand new interior along with a shipping order for a whole new braking system from IntroCar. Now we're going to carry on where we left off with the rear hoses. These are kind of inaccessible and a bit of a pig to fit, but just take your time and eventually they'll go in. And whilst you're down there, check the hard lines for any pinholes, and if so, replace the whole line, because as I've said, this is a high pressure system, so don't take any chances. So with the rear ones done, we now move around to the front. So it's 4 down, just 8 to go. I must say, I really like these later style wheels. I think they look really classy. So yeah, it looks like these are starting to jam on and lock up. They probably would free up if he drove it, but I think it's just time they were rebuilt or replaced because as you can see, it's all been sitting for quite a long time and the corrosion's taking its hold. Okie dokes. And so far, no mess. I suppose it could be worse. At least the weather's warmed up. I could be lying on a freezing cold floor and 2 below zero. Hey ho. Now normally before dismantling the braking system or commencing any major work on the brakes, I'd have to run down the pressure by pumping the pedal 70 to 100 times till both the red lights come on. But because this car's basically sat up for the last 14-15 years, the pressure's just kind of run down naturally. But of course what comes with that are rusty seized up components. So it's out with the split pin, off with the nut, out with the grooved washer and out with the bearing. And as you pull it out, you'll see there's also like a beveled washer. I'll show you where that goes later. Out with those old hoses, get out. And in with the new. Right, so here we are. all the old parts, all the rust and calipers. You can see there's quite a bit of wear and rust on this old disc, but you know, I have to be honest here, it's even wear, and there's quite a bit of life left in these. But we've got all the nice brand new parts. There's your new bearing. That'll go on when, obviously, when the hub is taken off this and swapped over onto all the new components. Yeah, all nice squeaky clean. And if I can just show you this, as I say, there's a little bit of rust on it where the calipers have been sticking to it. You know, it's just been sitting there for years. That'd all clean up. And as I say, the wear it's pretty even. You know, there's no real scoring on them, so they're not too bad. But if you look at the meat here, this is the important thing, and you compare it to the new ones, you can actually see there is a considerable difference on the amount of meat on this one and the amount of wear on this one. And even though there's a lot of life left in it, just do the job, just do it right, just put all the new components on, peace of mind, and then you'll be sure that in a few years time you won't be doing the same job again. So it's done. I'll clean all these up, I'll take all these off, clean them all up, paint them gold probably, and then clean all the nuts and the washers up, and then fit all this, and then yeah, let's see what we've got. So I finally decided to treat myself to a new parts washer. Now this is one of them environmentally friendly, state-of-the-art models. You know, a lot of the solvents you use are really bad for yourself and really bad for the environment. So I've decided to treat myself to one of these. I got it from Motul, who do some great stuff, great motor oils and fluids, some decent tools and some nice t-shirts. So yeah, I think it's a great little addition to the garage, cleaning all that grease and oil off the parts so I can see what I'm working on. Believe it or not, this hub, or bearing cap as they call it, it shouldn't have any grease in it. It should be put on dry. Why, I don't know. That's what it says in the book. So that's exactly the way I'm going to do it. Now these are inner hub seals. Now the earlier hubs just take one, but these later ones take two. They go this way round and then you just tap them in. And basically this just keeps the grease inside the hub when the car's in motion and just stops the grease from pissing all over your suspension. So first we get these old ones out. They just become brittle and hard over time and then they just stop doing their job. And there's one out. And there's the other one. And your bearing just sits right down there inside. Tap the old bearing out with the old race. And that's out. You get your new bearing. And get it nicely greased up before you fit it. And then once that's in, you get your seals in. And I'm going to use the old race just to tap it down so it's nice and seated. And once that's in, it's in with the second one. I don't think it really matters which way round these go, but I'm just replacing them exactly the way I took them out. There you go, that's done. Get some grease in there, and you're good to go. Now remember that cup washer I mentioned before? Well, this is where it goes. Back on with the rotor and hub assembly. Now, the outer bearing I've cleaned out and I've had a good look at it and it's absolutely perfect, so I'm going to reuse this. So it's just a case of washing all the old grease out, blowing all the rest of it out, and then just liberally applying lots of fresh grease and getting it in everywhere. Back in it goes. Back on with the slotted washer. Back on with the nut. And don't do this up too tight. It's literally finger tight, and then just tap it round another couple of millimeters and you'll feel it. When you turn the rotor itself, you'll feel it. You'll actually see the hole line up perfectly through the castellated nut. Back in with the split pin. Back on with the dry cap. Recheck it. That feels good. And we're done. Next to the calipers. And you can see it starting to take shape. Nice brand new calipers. Now we're onto the two hoses in the rat trap, nicknamed after its brake mechanism. You'd think it was because there's always a nest in there when you open it up. I mean, look at this. And you remember I found its owner in an earlier episode. So it's off with the cover, held on by a million screws, revealing the two hoses, which are tricky to undo. And because of their lack of accessibility, these are quite often overlooked. And then it's round to the other side. There's the new rear calipers. Well, they're going to look nice. And just remember on the left side, the nuts on a reverse thread, as are the wheel nuts. So finger tight, tap it round till the hole lines up, and put your split pin in. And remember the cap goes on dry. I know, it must be medication time for the boys. So as I said, it's medication time for the boys. Now, I use the Central Valley CBD oil and I just find this invaluable. I mean, as you can see, the boys here, the back legs are going. They're very stiff at the back, they just keep giving way. But they're nearly 11, aren't you boys? 11 years old. See, his legs just kind of give way, he's like... So, I use this Central Valley natural CBD oil. It's a low dosage obviously for pets, but it can be used for humans as well. There's different dosages. Just to give you an example, my mum passed away with cancer, mesothelioma, a very painful form of cancer about 6 years ago now. And we used to give her a few drops of this a day and she was completely pain-free. So I promise you I can advocate this. So all as I do, I get one of the little treats. Hold on. Tiny little drop. It's yours, mate. There you go. And there's yours. Yeah. Just a tiny little drop each on a treat and just give it to them once or twice a day. Now, Central Valley are kindly offering a 10% discount to all my viewers. So there's a promotional code plus a link to their website in the description box below. Right, come on boys, din-din's time. Now this is just my personal choice, but obviously guys, I'm not a doctor or a vet, so if you are seriously thinking about going up this road, I think it's always best to seek proper, qualified, professional advice. Okay, so with that done, now onto these final few hoses. Now if you take a look at this engine bay, it all looks a bit scuzzy, a bit dirty. You've got a couple of hoses that go under here, under the reservoir. You've got 3 or 4 that go on the accumulators over there. I think there's 4 of them. But I mean, looking at this, it's covered in dust and oil and grease, and I can't really see what I'm doing. And I think the best course of plan is, there's a firm called Avro Pro who insist they've got this fantastic product and these fantastic machines. They do like a method of cleaning the engine bay with a laser machine, and then they move on to the suspension underneath the car and they clean it with a dry ice technique. Now, I've heard a lot about them and I've seen various videos, but I think the best course of plan is let them come, clean all the engine bay within an inch of its life, revealing all the brand new paint and old stickers and everything else, so it just looks like new, and I can actually see what I'm doing and where these hoses actually go. So let's wait till they get here, shall we? I'm looking forward to being impressed. And whilst they're on the way, let's get this job finished. Let's get the rest of these brake pads in, and clips, and springs, and just finish the job in hand. There we go, just in time for the lads' arrival. All right, Jim.
How you doing, Gary? All right, mate?
Paul.
Nice to meet you, Gary.
Thanks so much for coming. I've heard so much about these machines and I'm ready to be blown away. I've seen the videos and I've been trying to get hold of a company that could do this for a long time now, because you're few and far between, but prepare to wow me.
We'll knock your socks off with it.
Yeah.
So today we're going to go over the wheel arches, engine bay, maybe some of the arms for you, yeah?
Yeah, Just show me what it does in that, because I think it's one of them inventions, isn't it? I mean, when was it invented?
So dry ice blasting's actually been around since about the 80s, but it's only recently that
Just catching on.
it's gone massive, and we realised we could use it in the car sector, and it's just blown up, you know.
I was saying before, I think it's changed the face of restoration as we know it.
Yeah, 100%.
Because I've done cars on one of them, you know, rolling rotisseries, whatever, and you spend like 2 or 3 weeks with a mask on and gloves and machines.
Covered in mess.
Yeah, covered in mess.
Yeah.
And this is just incredible.
Yes,
It brings the fun into cleaning, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
And it takes away the hard graft.
And for me, from what I've seen, it's the cherry on the cake. You know, it just puts the cherry on the job, and it's like, wow, that's the way to finish your car.
For sure.
Yeah.
There's so many cars we see, they're nice and shiny, but you get underneath them and you're like, Jesus, what's happened here? You know,
Yeah.
you got surface rust, you got all that black underseal that people love to lash on with a brush. So anyway, I'll let you guys get to it anyway. I'm looking forward to seeing it.
No worries.
And as I watch the lads get to work, the thing that strikes me more than anything is, unlike a sandblaster where you've got sand and debris everywhere, the only debris here is what actually drops off the car and is easily brushed up, because it works on an air and dry ice method. And the ice simply evaporates. And depending which setting the machine is put on, it can just reveal the nice clean paint from the factory underneath. And when I have a go myself, I'm amazed how easy and light and safe the machine is to use. And as it begins to take shape, with just a few little touch-ups from me, this is going to look a treat. Now I prefer to use a thin rubberized Schultz. It's clean, it's neat, it's protective, and it doesn't look like you're trying to hide a multiple of sins. So from this to this, and this to this. And also from this to this. I mean, just look at that. That's how you want it to look. Definitely worthwhile. Well done, guys. Okay guys, with that done, and I'm sure you'll agree it's made a real difference to the front of the car. I mean, it's all lovely and clean and maintainable now. So now all I've got to do is move around to the back, and it's a much bigger deal. Episodes 46 and 48 describe it all and show it all in detail from start to finish, and that's splitting the hubs, fitting the rotors or the discs, putting all new bearings in and races, and torquing it up. I think it's to £500. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. So it's quite involved. Checking them episodes. Rather than me film it all again, you might as well just check back. Anyway, once again, thanks for tuning in and wish me luck. Thank you for watching this episode of Classic Obsession. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like and subscribe. And see you all next time.